Well, it's finally arrived. As you can tell by the weather outside, it's playoff football here in Middle Georgia as the GHSA teams gear up to make a playoff run of their own. That takes me to the Shamrock Bowl, where in Dublin it's all about peaking at the right time. And for these 8-2 Fighting Irish, they believe they've hit their stride just as the playoffs arrive, as they'll host Washington County Friday night in a matchup that carries plenty of respect and rivalry between two storied programs that have plenty of ties. Now, after winning 4 straight games, these Irish got a reality check on the road at Northeast here in Macon. But head coach Roger Holmes tells me after winning the last 4 in a row, they are doing exactly what they want to do, and that's play their best football heading into Game 11.
You know, that's always our goal in Dublin, is find a way to get in the playoffs and hopefully be playing your best football in Game 11. And we're healthy. We're better than we were early in the year. Unfortunately, looking at film, so is our opponent this week in Washington County.
Well, now the Irish enter the postseason at 8-2, tested by one of the toughest regions in Class A Division I. Coach Holmes says his group has learned how to handle adversity and win late when the pressure mounts, summing up the team to just one word: resiliency. Big games like this comeback win over Dodge County 2 weeks ago has made this team battle-tested heading into the playoffs.
I think they're resilient. We were looking at it earlier. You know, I think there's been 5 games this year that we were trailing in the first quarter, and sometimes up to 13 points down, like in the Dodge County game. But our kids just kept playing and kept believing and found a way to win. So, you know, I think resiliency is a big part of this football team.
And now this Irish squad are focused in what was their closest win of the season, coming in the form of a 14-7 region victory over these same Golden Hawks that came down to the wire. Now, it's always difficult to beat the same team twice in one season, and even though WaCo may have a 5-5 overall record on paper, Holmes says the film shows a different team, one that's grown more physical as the year has gone on.
They're starting to play toward maybe what they perceive to be their identity. They're playing a lot more physical now on both sides of the football. I think they're committed to running the football more. I think they're committed to stopping the run a little bit more maybe than they were early in the year. You know, that's one of our challenges now. As you get into the playoffs, you come out of the gate slow because everybody here is pretty good. You know, we look around though, there's a 32-team bracket. 7 of the teams were in our region. Jeff Davis is a team we scrimmaged in the spring. Swainsboro was a non-region game. So we feel like we're tested because 9 out of the 32 teams in this bracket we played this year. You know, and on top of that, somebody told me today, for example, 3 of the teams that we played in the playoffs last year are back in the bracket. So there's some familiarity with 13 out of the 22, out of the 32.
Well, now during this past bye week, Dublin fine-tuned the passing game and focused on special teams, according to Coach Holmes, areas that they want to clean up and could very well decide a playoff matchup. Senior quarterback Jeff Davis is working with guys to get their reads right and says the group is healthy, locked in, and ready to finish strong, especially behind a trio of excellent junior running backs in Trevion Bostic, Jamarcus Knight, and Dontavius Cannon, combining for over 2,300 of the team's 3,000 total rushing yards on the year. That's carried an offense scoring over 35 points a game on average, along with guys like junior Jakarian Jones grabbing 4 interceptions, helping his team allow just 14 points a game on average. Coach Holmes wants to control the line of scrimmage, make big plays downfield, something he hasn't done this season enough of, and play Dublin football to come out with a victory over this historic rival that's got the same feel as their rivalry with Bleckley County.